how Nick wired two conventional engines to operate as one unit.
Hi fellas, it's Nick. I'm making this video to demonstrate how I hooked up these two individual conventional engines where they could operate as one unit, going forward and going back. And I just want to mention to you, these two engines, they're the same body, same motor, except this particular engine had a directional relay. But I found out when I was running it that the relay does not have a neutral. It either goes forward, and then when you put the power back on, it'll go reverse. There's no neutral in this one. This one here had a switch on top that would either make it go in the reverse position or the forward position. Now I had to figure out a way so that both units, as I mentioned, would operate as one unit. And I was looking at it and I tested, and I didn't make a video of the actual wiring, but I'm going to explain it to you. And then after I explain it to you, then I'm going to run it. Now, this particular engine had a body, which was a nice looking one, and this was the Erie 8452. And this particular one, which had the relay in it, it's a Santa Fe, but it's the blue bonnet, and its number is 8351. Now, not only, sorry about that. Not only did I have to figure out how to wire these, but unfortunately, the both front of the engines did not have a coupler. I know you see one right here, and I'll explain about this one. So the first thing I had to do is to install a coupler, and I decided to do it in the Erie one because the Santa Fe one had the relay. So I wanted this engine to be the one that controls both of them. Now, as far as the coupler goes, which is right here, what I had to do here is I had an old caboose, and it had a front and a rear one. So this is the rear one of the caboose. And what I had to do is I had to drill a hole right through this so I can put a screw through it. And I was going to mount it right onto the truck, but it wouldn't work because the truck is back here and the coupler would be right in at the beginning of the engine, and no way was I going to hook up another car to this. So I got a piece of plastic, and that was my extension, and one end of the plastic I screwed onto the body of the engine, and the other one I screwed to the coupler, and that's how I got my distance. That serves my purpose right there. All right, now, since I explained how I put the coupler on there, and what I had to do also in order to mount this coupler, I just want to put this together so you can see it. No way was I going to get this coupler to come out, so I had to cut this piece off, and what I did was I used a hacksaw to cut it, and it was pretty neat. So now when I put this on, oh, the wires are in the way, but when I put it on, you see the coupler is beyond the body of the Erie engine, so I can couple it. So that was my first thing I had to do in order to get these hooked up that way. Now came the electrical end of it. As I mentioned, this particular engine had a control where the two neutrals went on each side of it. So when you put it in one position, the engine would go forward, then you'd have to stop it, put it in this position, and the engine would go reverse. This one, I can use the directional on the transformer. I had to disconnect these wires, which is the two neutrals, and that's what changes the polarity of the motor. And this is the hot, which picks up current from the track. So what I went on eBay and I found this particular plug-in, and on one end it's a 3-wire, and I needed a 3-wire plug-in. So I attached the red wire, which goes to power this motor, and then I attached the 2 wires on 2 separate wires and brought them up to the Santa Fe engine. Now the red wire goes through this, and this is one solid wire, comes out of the Erie engine, goes into the Santa Fe engine, and this is the other end. The red wire is attached to the power that feeds the Erie engine. That's this wire here, and I had to attach it to the power of the Santa Fe engine that has positive to the motor. Then on the other 2 neutrals, this one, which wire was coming from the Erie, I tied onto one side of the motor, and this particular one I tied onto the other side of the motor. And when this relay goes in the forward position, it'll energize this one, and the motor will turn and the engine will go forward, both of them, because this engine now is tied into this motor, which is tied into this relay. So when this relay goes forward, it sends current to the forward one, but it also sends current all the way back to this this side of the Erie engine, and they will both go forward. And then when this goes reverse, the other wire, neutral wire, would be energized and go all the way back, and it goes to the center terminal right here on the motor, and then it would go in reverse. So that's how this works. Now, I was concerned about the neutral for the both engines, but then I realized whether you have separate engines or together, the neutral comes through the wheels of the neutral track. So I didn't have to worry about running another neutral wire. So I just had to run this 3 wires. So basically that's how I hooked up the wiring, so both of these will go the same way. Now, before I did this, and the reason why I did this, the Erie engine, you're lucky if you would pull 1 or 2 cars, maybe 3 tops. And the Santa Fe was the same because it's the same motor. So that's where I came up with the idea, let me put them, hook them up so that they will both work as one engine. And as I mentioned, the relay goes forward, they both go forward. When it goes into the reverse, they both go reverse. And that's how this works. Now what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to put it on the outer track, because this is a track that I use for my conventional, because I have a conventional transformer. So I'm just going to shut it off so I get it all set up, and then I'll put the camera back on. Okay, fellas, I put the engines on the outer track so I can run it with my conventional and start them up. I'm just going to show you how they work back and forth. Then I'm going to hook it up to a train which has 10 cars, and you'll see how this pulls it as one unit. That's the forward, and that's the reverse, and the lights as the front and back. But again, as you notice, there's no neutral, because once I release my finger, it's going to go forward. I press it, and I release the directional button, and it goes. There's no neutral in that particular relay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the other cars to it, and then we'll run them around, and you'll see how these two engines can pull 10. Let me hook up the train. It is a heavy train. All right, I have it hooked up. And it just pulls them all. There's 10 cars on here, and they're pretty heavy cars. Unfortunately, both engines, they don't have a whistle, but they have a light. Down in this area, it's not the engine so much, but the power. I might have to put another connection, a hot wire over there. But as you see, they're pulling it nice. No problem, no hesitation, except when it comes around here. And the motors were not getting that hot. I had it running before I made the video for about a minute. Now we'll see how it is going reverse. All right, now we're going to go reverse. Now, reverse is chattering a little bit. I slowed it down a little, maybe give it time to grab it. She's not chattering anymore. And they're both working as a unit, and they're pushing now 10 cars, which is pretty good sized cars, and going forward, it does a little bit more. I think most engines going forward. That's better than going reverse. Now we'll put it, we'll let it go forward, I'll let it go around once or twice, then I'll put the bodies back on it and you see how it looks with the bodies on it. Going forward, it's just nice and smooth. And that's not even, this is full power. Look at how it moves. Now half throttle. That's about half throttle. Now, let's check the motors. No, they're not hot. Oh, not at all for the touch. A little warm, but I think that's kind of average. But I think realistically, what I'm going to do is maybe run 8 cars. Because, I don't want to damage the motor, but still 8 cars are better than just pulling 2 cars each. And also, I made a video, if you want to see these 2 cars before I hook them up as running as one. My video is number 15 running post-war engines. Right now I'm going to shut off, put the bodies on, and then we'll run it around again. Hi fellas, as you can see I put the body on both engines, the Santa Fe and the Erie. And we'll just give it another run and then I'll shut the video off. See how it looks in the dark. Here they come. I'll let it run around one more time and we'll shut it off, fellas. Well, fellas, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it and showing you what I did, how to connect the two engines and to make one unit. All right, everyone have a great day. Take care now. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the video. A comment, rate, and subscribe will be appreciated. Don't forget to ring the bell to get all the email notifications from Nick's channel.